Good afternoon to our YouTube subscribers. I'm Justin Fleming. Happy Monday. I'm here to read all of you my review on today's Young and Restless, Monday, January 8th, 2018. At the Chancellor Mansion, JT comments to Kang on the attractive nanny. The doorbell rings and JT is served with papers. He tells Kang it's nothing important. After Kang senses something's bothering JT, he decides that Reed has a court date coming up and talks about getting on the same page with Victoria. Kang shares that he and Lily took a big step forward yesterday. Then at the club, Abby raves about their upcoming trip to Paris, but realizes Lily's distracted. Lily admits she and Kang kissed yesterday. Abby loves the romance of it all and thinks the divorce should be off. Then at Newman, Victoria invites Scott into her office where he announces he wants to work from home. Victoria nixes the idea. She knows about the singing at the club but expects him to work with Abby. Scott threatens to not work at all. Abby and Lily arrive, and Scott goes. Victoria envies Abby and Lily for going to Paris, but Abby senses Lily may have changed her mind. Lily learns it will be longer than a week. They could be going back and forth between the continents for a while. Lily can't base decisions on a situation with Kang and says, "I'm in." After Abby's surprised to see JT, she thought he left town. Tells Lily that JT hit on her, but he insists she took it the wrong way. Lily and Abby are intrigued to hear he's been hired by Kang. After Victoria and JT discuss Reed's court date, Vicky hopes it will scare him straight, but JT warns he has to know his loved ones support him despite the mistake. Victoria agrees to lunch to discuss how to handle Reed. At the Chancellor estate, Kang leaves Lily a message to stop by. He'd love to see her. Charlie arrives with his favorite toy for Sam and relays that Lily was bubbly this morning. He thinks Kang should move back in, but his father cautions him not to pressure her. Charlie apologizes for his previous disrespect. Lily arrives. She and Kang admit that they never stopped loving each other. Lily wants to take things slow, and Lily wants to talk about Sam. Lily reveals she had to put it all on hold to go away. Kang agrees to have twins there. Lily wishes she could stay, but he doesn't want to miss the opportunity to kiss. Kang says, "Please don't go." In the Abbott mansion, Michael listens as Jack and Ashley and Tracy complain about Graham. Michael warns Jack could have been arrested and confirms that Graham still has medical power of attorney and is still the beneficiary of Dina's will. He can undo the power of attorney, but they'll have to address the will. Graham arrives with an officer and a court date and for Dina to be released into his care. Jack refuses and Tracy pleads unsuccessfully with Graham to reconsider. Tracy in turn tells him, "You leave me no choice." She walks upstairs. Arguing ensues with Paul until Paul arrives. Tracy thanks him for coming and hopes Dina will refuse to leave. Dina appears and enthuses about Graham taking her out of that terrible place. Graham sends her for her bag as the Abbott siblings grimace. When Dina reappears, emotional goodbyes take place. Jack warns Graham they'll fight him with everything they have. Abby arrives as Michael and the Abbotts reconvene to plan how to prove Graham is out to harm Dina. After Michael heads out, Abby updates Ashley that the scene at the club was about her stealing Sharon's man. Ash learns they had sex. They kissed twice. Abby insists it's over. Then at the club, Dina is disappointed to hear Graham's not taking her on a cruise and that she's going to a facility where he will visit. She becomes more flustered as he explains little Jackie can't go with them. JT and Victoria intervene as Graham grabs Dina to keep her from leaving. Graham pleads his case to JT and Victoria warns she's calling the Abbotts. Graham takes Dina to a book suite. Vicky and JT agree. Graham seemed creepy. Vicky thanks JT's a good guy for stepping in. He smirks, "Tell that to Mac. He just served me with divorce papers." At the Crimson Lights, Lawrence taken aback when Scott asks her for $3 million to buy hashtag. She insists he wants to leave Newman because he wants Abby in his life. Scott concedes that sees Scott sees Abby's the reason, and they admit they had sex. They kissed twice. Scott insists it's over. Lauren doesn't have the money to loan him and advises him to make the most of being stuck. At the Abbott mansion, the siblings marvel that Graham's plan was stick to Dina's in a nursing home. Michael got a quick hearing, and Jack and Ashley agreed to Tracy's request to call a truce at Jabot to put Dina first. Now, let me give all of you my final thoughts on today's show. That Abby, she's a real bitch. She's always been a bitch. See, you know what? She can have Scott. She can have Scott all she wants. First, she took her niece's husband, Austin, away from her. Now she's doing the same thing to Sharon's man, Scott. She's a real whore. And somebody needs to do something about Graham. Somebody needs to do something about Graham. How many times is he gonna hurt this woman, Dina? And I get a gut feeling that Kane and Lily are back together. I know all of you are happy that Kane and Lily are back together. Team Lane. They like to be called Team Lane. Kane and Lily, the duo, the couple. How long before Graham becomes a murder victim? He's gonna kill. I know he might kill Dina. If you go back to the Dina shooting where Brant Davis and missing and hitting, Catherine will be a similar outcome. And Scott and as for Scott, Scott, you know what, Scott, you're not a Newman, you're a Granger and a Fenmore, and you know what, you're well off you're well off but far from wealthy, because you still owe Victor $10 million for the ransom, and now you want your mom, who sold Jabot for 49% of Fenmore's, to loan you $3 million. It's amazing, isn't it? Scott is a sponge because he was living, because him living with Sharon. He better dig that ring out of the dirt so he can pawn it or put it back in or someone in a Cracker Jack box somewhere. And Abby's really full of herself. You know that? She's really full of herself. She is. I'm sick of her. So that's my little review on today's Young and the Restless. So subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Have a good afternoon. I'll be doing another review about Bold and Beautiful in a minute. And so all you do is subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Hit like, make a comment on the video. I can do reviews for CBS daytime dramas, Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful at the same time. So subscribe to me, Justin Fleming. Have a good afternoon. Peace. I'm out of here. I'll do my little review on Bold and Beautiful in a few minutes.